Order the new Lo-Fi Penguin desk pad and Picky Penguin notebook available over on Creator Inc. Check the link in the description below. Previously on the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolved.
No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a spade.
No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel.
Look at Susan's face.
Well, it doesn't really matter, does it?
You're so right, Naruhodo-san. We mustn't quarrel over such trifles.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't become a
Thing. Oh wait, is it a thing already?
I don't know. Is it?
And now back to legging at people.
Hello!
NicoB, back with some more of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. When we last left off, we completed our second investigation, which, by the way, last episode I was like, this doesn't happen very often, a second case where we have a second investigation. Well, according to you guys, no, that's actually more common than not having a second investigation, which like last game, which was just literally all investigation and no trial. I just have a fucking shitty memory. The problem is like, I can only remember like details and some characters, right? But when it comes to really specific things, sometimes it feels like the last case, I remember that. Like I remember the second case from the last game, but do I remember the second case from the game that came before that? Like right off the bat? No, I don't. Probably has to do a lot of the fact that, this game does carry over so much from the previous one, so I feel like I needed to hold on to it, but I don't know. I feel like I can only remember like one game in a row at a time. There's just too many games, too many facts and details jumping around in my head. That's why lately I feel like I've been so like uncertain about like my memory as of late in terms of just trying to remember, in terms of remembering things. I'm just like, I'm probably wrong, right? I feel like I've been so wrong lately in my recollection of like events and certain things. And I'm just like, oh, Jesus Christ. But on the bright side, at least I have you guys here to clear it up when I fuck up, right? When I misremember. I just can't wait when I get older too, when I get like super old, like senility's kicking in. I'm like, what game am I even let's playing at the time? Penguins, tell me what the fuck am I doing? Where am I? Who is this character I'm talking to? You guys can just clear it up every episode. And I'll be like, all right, comment of the day is this comment where they explained what was happening in the story last episode that I forgot about. I really appreciate it. Unfortunately, I've already forgotten what your name was, and it is for that reason you are comment of the day. But anyway, that aside, we did uncover a lot of very interesting things in regards to Shamspeare. It is seeming like potentially Shamspeare could be like a spy or something, right? I'm trying to think as how Shamspeare could potentially tie into this whole grand narrative, right? Because I think that's the reason why Sherlock wanted us to forget about this case, right? Because there is seemingly a looming danger to talking about this case to other people, right? So I feel like potentially Shamspeare is like, what I'm thinking could end up happening is that Shamspeare is a spy or a representative or a secret agent or undercover agent of like the British government, right? And he does jobs or something that others won't do. I mean, which seems ridiculous with how he looks, right? His ridiculous attire and personality. But we're seemingly having this man who stayed at the house of the Garridebs, right? And then was arrested and sentenced to execution, but he died in jail. And then I think it was like a few days after he had passed away, Shamspeare comes to live at the Garrideb residence, right? But someone's already taken that room, and that person is Miss Green's fiance. So he stays in the room below. But I'm thinking something like, well, what if it was that they couldn't get certain information from Selden, right? They couldn't get some information that they needed. So they sent somebody to go investigate his room to see if he left anything behind that might lead to some, I don't know, some greater purpose, some larger scheme he was up to, but he couldn't get the room. So like, did he kill the guy that lived there? Did he kill Miss Green's fiance by causing a gas leak so that he could get in there and like rummage around or something? That seems excessive, because couldn't he have just like waited till he left the room and then gone in there, like broken in there? Like, why would he need to kill him and like go that far? That's what I'm still a little unsure about, unless it was something like he literally never left his room. But I think, seeing he was with Miss Green, I don't think that's the case. I think he was even a student, right, in an art school. So that doesn't seem likely. So why would he feel the need to kill him, you know? I do think it's going to come back to that, though. I do think it's going to come to him. It wasn't an accident that he died, right? And it similarly, seemingly could lead to what was happening to Souseki as well, to the worries he was feeling that he was also like suffocating at night because he had a gas leak as well. And the Gyarados, Mr. Gyarados has already gone and repaired the system, right? Seemingly everything should be all right, but it's happening again. So we saw the handprints are up against the wall, right? Shamspeare's handprints. So I'm thinking since he's on the floor below, could he potentially, first I was thinking maybe he was listening to something, right? Like he had his hands up against the wall and his ear up against the wall. So he's like listening in, but maybe he's doing that to like send gas up into the room above him in some way. I think there was a lantern there too, right? There was actually like a light on the wall there. Maybe he turned on the gas from that. And, but if that were the case, I still wouldn't understand why he would need to have his hands up against the wall and stay there, unless he's trying to funnel it in there with something. I don't know. Anyway, this is just me like spitballing. There's still quite a few holes in my theory here, and I still don't have a lot of clear answers, but it's kind of what I'm thinking. But anyway, last episode, Izan K said, Susato, referring to Souseki,
Mr. Naruhodo, he's trying to escape reality.
Meanwhile, in Soseki's headspace, a black and white man is stabbing Sherlock Holmes repeatedly. Die, die, yes, yes. Oh, I'm in my happy place, my supreme happy place. Die. Yeah, that sounds about right. This is what happens, guys, right? All my Let's Plays, they all just start to merge together and eventually become this weird gelatinous mess where everything just fucking ties together in weird and hilarious ways. And sometimes there's a council and other shit happens and fan fictions, but we'll say that for another time. But Izan, thank you so much for your hilarious comment. And it is for that reason you are our comment of the day. All right, another thing you guys also clarified. So the whole re-examining your evidence was actually something that happened in the previous game as well in regards to McGundle's case. Because there was a piece of evidence that he switched out, right? That he changed partway through the trial. Yeah, that's right. I actually remember that now. We had to like, I believe it had to do with the carriage, right? We had to go back in there and we found that, oh wait, the thing that was left in there or something is not there anymore because he hid it. So technically something they have done previously as well. Oh, interesting. I'm actually looking at the comments now though, and I am seeing someone say that this is actually the first case of the entire duology where we had more than a single day for the trial section. Is that right? Really? So maybe that's the other reason why I thought it felt unusual that we had 2 investigation sections. I didn't know if I realized that. All right, and you guys also told me, so the sword, Soseki's sword, Karma, is supposed to be basically a direct translation of karma, right? So that's interesting. I don't exactly know what the significance of it is, but I'm sure we'll have some. But all right, guys. So heading into trial part 2. Let's see what the hell's going on with this case. It's just getting good though. Like, kind of start off where seemingly it was a continuation of some of what happened in the previous case, but the bigger picture wasn't readily available yet, right? This last investigation section, that shit really started to come together. Like, oh no, there's some deep dank shit going on here, boy. February 23rd, 9:23 a.m., the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Oh God, in my face again. Am I a cat? I'm imagining stabbing Holmes again.
This is Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that's been plaguing Mr. Asume. To everything.
In my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you.
I always appreciate your help, Mr. Susato.
Suffering Souseki is selfishly silent!
Ah! Good morning to you, Mr. Asume. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt your I'm a cat moment, which, by the way, you guys also told me is actually a reference to one of his own books that he wrote. I gotcha. I didn't think that part seemed a little like what is this? What's going on here? I see it. I gotcha. That makes sense. Good morning. Good morning. Look up, student, Mr. Aro, Esquire. Listen to you two chatting away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here. Why would you do that? Why? Ah!
Oh dear, we didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Asume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly, you were meditating, finding inner calm. It seemed wrong to disturb you.
Yes, clearly we were very wrong in that assumption.
I was waiting!
What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally, it's because I have attained spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you see, is the journey to discover one's own death. Or such like. That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I have my eyes shut. I am not a cat anymore.
I missed the signs, I'm afraid. Somehow. You'll have to forgive me.
And you mustn't talk of your path leading to you to death, Mr. Natsume. We've seen the future. You're fine.
That was just an example.
Oh yes, there it is. Inner calm.
You barely came to see me at all yesterday. I was sure you'd abandoned me. I returned to our beautiful long-lost homeland.
May stop by for a little bit. Come on, man.
Not even been in Great Britain a week yet.
Yeah, it's actually, I noticed too, our attic, right, is not, like, my stuff isn't up there yet. I even talked to Susato how, like, I should help her unpack. It's because we technically have only just moved into the Holmes' residence, right? I think, did it happen right after did it happen right after Souseki's first trial that we got asked to move in? Or was it after McGundle's trial, the third case? I think it was after McGundle's. But I think we've just been so busy, we have had literally no time to do that. But it's cool. Again, that's like a nice understanding of the timeline of events, right? The chronology of everything, which can get pretty easy to fuck up accidentally when you're writing a story and you're like hopping back and forth in time a lot.
Yes, well, anyway, I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth.
I've actually reached an important decision myself.
Oh, what sort of decision?
I shall fill you in after the trial.
All right.
Yeah. Was he planning to leave? I thought he was already planning to leave. I thought at the end of the previous case, he was already like, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
It would seem Mr. Holmes isn't coming today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merit.
It's a very clear message, I think, that he's overslept again.
The great detective, my arch nemesis. Long may he stay away, if you ask me.
Defendant and your legal representative, it's me, British Kameda, here again, everyone's favorite character. The trial's about to begin. Get your sexy little Japanese booty in here. Oh, God. Bailiff gives me weird vibes. I heard that. Ah! Today, once again, we face the Reaper. When the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Souseki-san's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing my client and keep fighting to the very end. That's all.
Huzzah! Wonder if Van Zixen covered any dank shit. Actually, I guess it would technically be Gregson that uncovered it, but February 23rd, 9:40 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom.
I've got my cape back on. I'm gonna keep it on longer this time.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is ready. Yes, the defense is ready.
Very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lot to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed?
Absolutely. Justice will be done. You mark my words.
I feel obliged to say I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is sitting just right.
Oh, well, I wonder if you could just adjust my hat for me. And please, be as ruthless as you like.
What? By the way, this is the guy that you guys told me about in one of the previous episodes, where in the original game, he said this weird line like involving him getting stepped on or something. And I think he probably was referring to juror number 2, but Scarlet Study in their translation of this game apparently changed his line to like, oh, how Van Zix, I wish you would step on me with your ironclad heels. Which I like a lot better, actually. And just seeing how he's saying this here is, yeah, likely was referring to juror 2, and he likes it a little rough, apparently. But still pretty fucking amazing.
Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me. Especially gas thieves. I've no sympathy for the man at all.
Look, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. I got my own problems.
Wait, dude, didn't you go home already? Haven't you, like, right? Should your shit be done? Is your wife leaving you now? I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here or who you people are, but you need to get the crap out of my house. Oh, may the Lord show sunlight here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict again today. Meh.
Now, Lord Van Zeeks, what can you tell us? The prosecution's report, please, for the court. In relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea.
So he does have the results. Hold on. I'm gonna pour myself my own quote-unquote tea. Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the black god in the dark. Pray, allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective with the report. Here's to you, Inspector.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right.
As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow.
I think it's still going to be in there. I think there's still going to be poison in the tea, honestly.
And there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid and a little pressure on top of it.
Yes, that's the tea. Fuck yeah! Yeah! That's what Mr. Atsume brought with him that night.
Well, the brains of the yard analyzed it, and yes, you're right. It was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it.
Really?
Okay, never mind. I thought that would just immediately acquit him, but I guess not.
No poison at all.
Nothing at all.
In other words, the tea the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear. What a revelation!
Clearly, we're not done yet.
As I suspected. Ha! This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Souseki, is...
Objection!
My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction.
Oh, right. Another thing you guys told me. It was not Holmes that brought up that Van Zeeks had a Japanese friend, right? It was actually Van Zeeks himself. He brought it up to us at the end of, I think, the final trial of the last game, I believe. So why did Holmes say to us previously that when he brought it up, he said, as I've told you before, I cannot talk about it. Did he actually tell it to us before? Or was he referring to something else? Or is something that has not yet been revealed? Because I thought that was like, oh, that's where we learned that information, but apparently isn't. And technically that would have been the first time they've heard that information, because that final case, that final trial, where Van Zeeks tells us that, hasn't happened yet in the point in time we are. This is technically before that case. Van Zeeks does say, though, and I remember now, he told us that he had a friend from Japan, or someone that he considered a friend, a friendly rival, who ended up betraying him. So interesting. We don't know who that is or what the circumstances were, but that's why he's seemingly taken such a vested interest in Naruhodo, right? He was like, well, which side of him was the real him?
What? Yes, it's true. No poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude that the water in the ocean isn't salty?
My word, the water in the ocean is extremely salty, Counsel.
Of course it is. Exactly. Unfit for drinking, just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shamspeare, whom the prosecution now calls back to the stand.
Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's request.
Mr. Shamspeare.
Yes, it sounds like we're going to have another confrontation with our theatrical friend.
Bailiff, show Mr. Shamspeare to the stand.
Alrighty then, Udgy. I'm all right on it. I am.
Oh, hello. Ah! Sorry, I just can't help it. This fucking mouth, man. Just looks like he's just going, ah! all times.
Mr. William Shamspeare, the victim of this despicable crime.
Yeah, I'm glad he's keeping the cape on. He looks really cool with the cape.
Oh heaven, oh hell, do you command me to remember? Forsooth 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a bellyful of the foul fluid given in mine innocence.
Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings, the witness is not as innocent as we had perhaps first been led to believe.
By using bars of soap such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company, yes.
One may smile and be a villain, yeah! Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a roomful of the sweet fuel given.
That's right. Fellow terrorists, don't forget, this man is a rotten thief.
I am forgotten. Kept all that about the ice coins a tiny secret in you. You're sure homed up sooner.
Arrest him, I say. Arrest him at once and let him feel the sting in my tail.
Damn. Wow, really? The sting in your tail, huh? Wow, they're just going all in, right? Bees! Ah!
Oh, indeed, but dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted further mine own ends. I confess, thou wouldst not pardon my sins, of that I am sure.
If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here?
Cowards die many times before their deaths, and for a coward such as I, death be well deserved. But would it that I still greater crime passeth unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of farther east than Verona did contrive to poison me.
He stands around like fucking Daffy Duck.
But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that. What the defense would assert as an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mr. Shamspeare?
Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm full of pep in my step today, I am.
Very well, let the witness testify to explain this inconsistency while he bounces around like a weird little hyper bunny. Tell the court why it is that the poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea.
Okay. The tea inconsistency.
The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning distraction in our debate, ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus, 'tis no surprise that poison be found in the tea I did pour into the molds of soap.
But we have the cups to show that the tea that he drank, he did not drink immediately, while the tea that Souseki drank, he did drink immediately because there's no ring in his cup.
The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience.
Quite right, otherwise it would be disastrous if the poisoner were to mix up the cups, for instance.
But no poison bottle was found at the scene. Because, quite simply, the Nipponese took the bottle back to his own room. The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide. I knew that. By now it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep stains of guilt from the accused's hands.
Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspeare, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause. Do not remark on that outburst that just thence I have naught to lose.
Well,
I do declare.
You have not to lose, but, getting fucking arrested for other shit.
Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination.
Yes, my lord.
Okay, can I right off the bat just, nail this shit? Let's see, is there something? It's the cups, right? Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed. 'Twas in my cup alone the wicked miscreant secretly poured his wicked poison. The instruction or bait narrated his own drink past his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea remaining in his cup to make my coins of ice.
Objection.
Yep, okay.
You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question, and that you used the tea that was left in his cup to make your fake coins. but that's not possible.
How? Sharp logic.
Shop logic?
What is this, ye darkly clad fiend?
The two teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof.
Incontrovertible?
What difference? Look at the inside of the cups. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring. Oh, I haven't done this animation yet, this game. Yes, a T-ring. Commonplace enough.
Indeed. Such stains occur all too readily when one leaves tea in the cup for a while.
And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring.
Good lord, you're right. It's completely clean.
And prithee thee, sir, what makest thou of it?
Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted. Drink?
Tea?
Well, it's hot. Damn right. That's right. Yes. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. If, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well. After the several hours the tea was left standing.
But,
In short, Mr. Shamspeare, you clearly lied to the court.
Get thee to a nunnery!
Objection!
Hold on, let me take a little drinky-do. As a rule, I fill my hallowed chalice up to 7 times during any one trial.
Wait, really? You've been consistent with that?
I do it often because I like
Chucking the shit into that candle over there.
You might want to keep that information to yourself. Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me and I pour more times than I intended until the bottle is dry. Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant. On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shamspeare,
Yes, my liege.
though you previously stated you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused's cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken?
We're just gonna, let's just give him a freebie, guys. Everybody gets one, right?
Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in the small teapot left at the scene? A fact that had vanished from your memory until now.
Oh, yes. Faith, my liege, thou art a magician. For verily, 'tis as though thou hast seen with thine own eyes that night.
Come on, that's called feeding the witness.
What?
Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest.
Objection! And you just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before? Are we supposed to believe that?
Objection!
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead.
Where's your fucking evidence, asshole?
But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us 2 things of note. Firstly, that the poison was put into the victim's teacup only. And secondly, that this spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that have bewitched this court.
The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts. Sure, I'm just gonna take that at face value.
Furthermore, that testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words,
Cape's coming off. I'm getting naked.
the inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist. No, come on!
What does this mean then?
I do declare means that there's no issue with the gas thief's testimony.
Apart from the bit about thieving gas, obviously.
I can't hear anything anyone's saying, god damn it.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear the
This is one thing that I've never been crazy about, and it's not just this game, all right? It's every Ace Attorney game. I just hate how, like, sometimes the shit just happens like that right there, where he's just like, well, what if you just fucking forgot? Oh, you're right, I did. And everyone just buys it and rolls with it. Just like, come on, man. I have no evidence to prove this, but you know, it was the burden of proof always gotta be on the fucking defense in these games. It's always gotta be on the fucking defense. Maybe it just works differently in Japan, and that's just the case. It's like, you're guilty until proven innocent, basically. But it's still kind of frustrating. It's just like, apparently catching them in a lie sometimes just doesn't mean dick. Especially when the prosecution literally just spoon-fed that statement to the witness. Like, super obviously.
By laws, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear, after I did dine at Grub's Grubbery Alehouse that night, not it passed my lips, but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death.
And on what did you dine, sir?
Why, I did partake of my favorites. A broth as would be called soup, and a leaf as would be called salad.
As insalubrious a menu as the establishment where it was served.
But you gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment is seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas. But I pray you wise and noble fellows ne'er forget the simple truth. That be one thing, this be another. Jurors all, your humble servant Shamspeare doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins.
My lord, if I may speak, my lord, I'm gonna take everything at face value.
Yes, all right, sure. Yes, Mr. Foreman.
I'm gonna fuck everybody up. I believe we have been duped by that rotten defense lawyer yet again.
By me? Come on, guys. Dude, you've been up there like 18 times. You still don't believe me?
I do declare you may be right.
We all know that Laugh there was making calls of ice to keep himself warm.
But this lawyer lad says he's stealing gas. He deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's been leading us up to the garden path. That's what he's been doing.
I really never said anything like that. Well, why don't we just start from the victim here? There's open our eyes again. We reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it. Fuck you.
The court acknowledges the position of the jury, Foreman, and we will duly hear the jury's findings.
Is it really gonna include the woman who had the gas stolen from her? I mean, I guess it's just saying in this instance, but it's gonna be hard for me to believe that she wouldn't want to see, like, this guy get fucked over in the worst way possible.
What? No! You can't yet!
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will say your decisions now.
Guilty.
Guilty!
Guilty.
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 Wow, okay.
Guilty. Guilty.
I guess not. She's just like, whatever. That's for another trial, I guess. Bonk.
I hereby declare the jury to be in one accord.
Oh, happy day! Oh, happy day! When Jesus walked! When Jesus walked!
Yes, I love that song.
How is this happening already? Fuck, dude, we're barely like 2 minutes into this shit. Yeah! My lord, you know what I want. You know what I want! The defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination.
Well, duh. Very well, the court upholds the defense's right.
Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth.
This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime of which he is charged.
All right, so they're dumb reasons now. The jurors' contentions. I'm a man of logic, me, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. That is very vague, sir.
I do agree that the gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying.
The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, gas is. What?
Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune to live it around the city and maintain the pipes.
You guys even talking about, what are you even talking about anymore?
Truth be told, what tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times.
I don't know what the dicks is happening. Nothing else past the victim's lips that night. There's no other explanation, is there?
Those are all finely stupid answers to why this Japanese man is guilty. I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat. But never mind.
No, you really should mind. Come on!
The truth is, our counter-argument wasn't as unassailable as we'd hoped. Mr. Shamspeare was poisoned. There can be no doubt of that.
Then how are we supposed to turn this around?
Turn the case around. I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamspeare was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly.
But that's surely almost impossible at this stage.
If we don't manage it though, Mr. Atsume will.
We found guilty, and then we'll get a time paradox.
No delays, counsel. Proceed with the summation examination.
Yeah.
We'll watch from the back and hope to God you fail.
All right. Man of logic, and having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty. Let me just fucking press you on that, because I want to hear you explain what? All the evidence you say. That's right. There's no room for doubt. It's all pointed at the Japanese man with the big mustache. Says the English man with the bigger mustache.
Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind.
We need to show him an even bigger mustache.
If only we have that kind of evidence.
Don't worry, the summation examination has barely restarted, really. Perhaps there will be a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light.
Let's hope so. Start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock.
Okay, fine. I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying.
Hold it! You probably shouldn't be saying that. This isn't the time or the place to be discussing the price of gas, madam.
But really, think of the injustice. Air is a gas, and air is free. Why should Altamont gas cost money? It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever.
This isn't the time or the place to be ruthless either.
If I might interject here.
Yes, madam.
It seems my fellow juror takes issue with the price of our company charges for gas. But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up. Oh, what a beastly man. That unkempt mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea, and stealing gas. Utterly unforgivable.
No, you dumbass! No! Mr. Asumi isn't the one who's been stealing gas. God, you guys are stupid.
You know, the funny thing is actually like that, like this, it's been this case for the previous games too, right? With the jurors, where a lot of times they're just like, they are not keeping up with shit, right? But in reality, that's actually very realistic because like most of the time people who are called into jury duty are like, fuck jury duty, right? They don't want to be there. They'd rather be doing some other shit. And they're expected to go up there and make a decision on potentially a man or a woman's life, right? So it might be that they have their own shit going on. They're not paying any attention to what's fucking going on. So they're just like, oh yeah, I guess I'm just gonna roll with that.
I'll thank you not to go adding on more crimes.
Sesame hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've quite made up my mind. It's as made up as the price of gas.
Thanks, lady. All right, what about you, you weird BDSM guy?
Stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, the gas is. What does that have to fucking do with anything? Can we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir? Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I'd take poison over gas every time. You take poison? What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it? You'll go up in a big old ball of flames.
Goodness me, what are you talking about? So set him straight, please, lawyer man.
You're the one next to him smacking with your fucking umbrella. Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison can't light or heat up a room. Ah, y'all right. I hadn't considered that at all.
Good Lord. Young lawyer man.
Yes?
You have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you as our company's legal representative.
Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of a trial, but you know, that's for sure. I could use the money because I ain't got dick right now, but oh wait, no, I'm in the middle of shit. Anyway, the point is, I haven't had the best experience with gas companies in the past.
Good, I'm glad we got absolutely nothing from that. Okay, gas doesn't come for free. It costs a force to deliver around the city and maintain the pipes.
Okay, good for you. Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas?
There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas. And I'm supposed to sit here and take it, am I? I don't think so.
She's really buzzing now. What does that have to do with declaring this guy guilty, you dipshit?
All I heard about are wonderful fuels, explosions, and poisonings. What about electricity, What about getting electrocuted? What about that, huh? A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison.
Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable.
My point exactly. But the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We have far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know.
More devious? Who, madam?
The gas companies, of course.
Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting.
We generate gas and we deliver it to our customers fair and square.
Indeed, nobody is questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company.
But there are others, other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all.
What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people?
You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that.
They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. And then they make a contract with the household supplied by those pipes. And take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours, without us even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft.
Yeah, really.
When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from the meters, we always have to check whether or not one of those devious companies has been up to its tricks.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Excuse me! Oh, that's right, we get to do this shit.
That's right. I forgot that could happen too.
Excuse me! Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3?
Oh, got it. You mean me? I'm terribly sorry. I'm just thinking to myself. Out loud.
Really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct?
Well, yes. I just got a little riled up about it recently, you see.
Go on.
An Altamont gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipe work. We need to ask for your cooperation while we carry out a secret check of your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in, and do you know what he did?
I'm, afraid I have no idea. Please tell us.
He proceeded to take one of my lights off the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it.
What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there.
Oh, please, everybody knows. But it was a very nearly the death of me, I can tell you.
What do you mean?
I'll explain, if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect the customers to our pipe network.
Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it?
Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. But by blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment.
Okay.
Ah, I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe, the lights of an adjacent property that has no contract with your company flicker, you can know that these devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes.
Oh, I see.
Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell.
Okay, so we have a lantern right here in the middle, right? That's clearly what was happening here. Shamspeare was taking off the lantern and blowing into the pipe, but for what purpose? To see if the light flicker? But why would that mean anything to him? Was he trying to set up something? Did he know that Mr. Garrett was watching the lights flicker or something to indicate when someone has come and gone? Maybe was he trying to fuck around with that?
It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker.
The trouble is, the particular worker who came to my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might, and you can guess what happened, can't you?
Well, if he blew hard, then... Wait, you mean...
That's right. The lights didn't just flicker. They went out, along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house.
Oh, no, that's it. Oh. That's what's doing it. So it is. Shamspeare is the one who has been... He's been blowing into that to cause the lights to go out in rooms. But how could he predict that it was going to go out in the room above him, right? And not literally everywhere else. How do you know that Mr. Garrett wouldn't fucking die from being poisoned from the gas?
What a disaster.
The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out.
I'm afraid I yelled at the fella. Are you trying to kill us all? I said.
So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps...
Yes, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information.
Oh, well, if you like. I don't mind. I don't know what this has to do with anything, but
Well, I do. That's our company's secret method to identify the rogues that try to diddle us.
like I said, madam, it's widely known already. And also, everyone in the courtroom already heard me say it, so, shut your damn face.
Very well. Juror number 3 will amend your statement accordingly.
Yes, my lord. Although I'm not really sure what the point of all this is.
All right, blow too hard to a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house, and then you're in real trouble. So what does that go up against? Gas has come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes. If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, is there no other explanation? Would this work?
Objection.
Yep. Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Good gracious! To whose statements do you refer, counsel?
Juror number 6, did you hear what juror number 3 just said?
Yeah, yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something or other.
There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a manner of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question.
What? What explanation?
I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene to see if there were any trace of poison there? I was curious to see what your floundering would result in this time, but the mouth of a gas pipe. Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance.
Hold it! What a piece of work is a man? What is a man?
What are you trying to say, Mr. Shamspeare?
What speakest thou? Prithee, is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir.
I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strike 9 could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body.
Good lord! Are they tasty then, gas pipes? Is that what he's saying?
Or is the gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry he tried to fill his belly with gas? Perhaps no actress will perform a kiss scene with him.
For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you, I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes.
Objection!
This is no summation examination. This is a farce. The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Nipponese friend's conjecture. Now I'm gonna pour myself another glass. To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips into the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist. And these are empty assertions.
Fuck it! Throw that in there too! There's no possible proof that the man did as you say!
It's true. I have no proof that Mr. Shamspeare put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shamspeare has been doing something in front of that lamp on his wall. Woo! And I have evidence to prove it.
All right, you've got our attention, lad. I like to see how you can be so sure of yourself.
So would I. Let's see this evidence then.
Now that I've got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. Nya! This is the proof that, time and time again, Mr. Shamspeare stood in front of his gas lamp.
Now, behold. Hopefully you understand what this means.
What the?
These are, wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints that were found at the scene.
Skin prints, counsel? I've never heard of such a thing. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints as evidence in court, however.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, is this gonna work?
My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. It reveals all of the places that Mr. Shamspeare touched in his room.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, that's black magic, isn't it?
Looks more like a black light to me. Does that mean he jizzed all over his walls? Oh, that's some nasty dang shit, boy. I mean, well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's the great Holmes fellow, that's for sure.
I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating.
We found skin prints in many places that you would expect. on the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shamspeare also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here.
Around the hanging picture there. Indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible.
Well, I wonder, could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps?
At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of...
In front of? Oh my golly!
I don't believe it.
I'm gonna suck on that fucking pipe right there.
The gas lamp!
Though the reason why isn't immediately obvious, it's clear that Mr. Shamspeare has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp.
He's learned how to suck some dick. Right, what have you been up to, you nut?
Oh, you know.
And asked the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement.
Me? What did I say?
You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now, if you'll recall juror number 3's statement.
What? Me now?
When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights in the gas stove to go out and gas to start leaking into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is, if Mr. Shamspeare were to have blown hard to the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will. Crikey!
Are you suggesting that the man purposely caused the gas to...
Objection!
What number am I up to? I think I'm past 7 at this point. Or 6 or whatever it was. Must acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination. I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law.
What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Seeks?
This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, the so-called skin prints. Clearly, that cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case.
Yeah, I kind of thought so.
But it's an exciting new forensic technique developed by a great detective.
It's nothing. A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands.
Certainly even research of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Holmes cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence.
Yeah.
But
Hold it! Oh, damn!
Oh shit. Susa said that in her big girl voice.
Please, my lord, if I may.
Miss Susato?
It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the scene as a tool by which to explain a possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Oh, fucking Susa on this shit. Semantics.
And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind the mysterious handprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree.
Yeah.
Hold it. You're right. Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down to us to decide.
Juror number 3?
Oh, yes, I do declare the great detective's investigation results sound absolutely fascinating. And I want to hear what that shady actor fellow has to say about those shady prints.
It's not enough though. Okay, we're a little better, but what's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy.
Well, I did say it, didn't I? And I don't like to break a promise.
No, wait. You heard us, Lordship. It's not fair to... Oh, we are evenly split now.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. If just one more juror changes his or her mind, Mr. Asume's trial will have to continue.
Thank you, Miss Susato, but I couldn't have done without you.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success.
Uh-oh. Shamspeare looking weird over there.
Why, Mr. Shamspeare, you seem to be losing your composure.
Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it.
Very well. Continue, counsel.
Oh, interesting. I'm still going, huh? Okay. Very soon the results. The great Texas at the scene. Yes, I can't actually press these guys any further. We're the ones that, if the evidence is worthy. Okay, us the jury. True result, my wife stirs up. what the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. I'm surprised this woman didn't change her mind after that. I guess we'll go ahead and press him then.
Hold it!
You mean it's poisoned?
That's right. It happened a tiny few times now. This is the most troubling indeed. It's always days like this one when I don't get any wages. I get in at tea time, see? And I see her doing it, my wife. She gets that devilish look on her face, and she slips some white powder into my cup.
And you drink it anyway?
I was brought up proper, I was. Someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it.
What happened to you? What did it taste like?
It was god-awful, believe you me. Salty as hell.
Then I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt.
No. So, she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable, damn it. I can't believe I married her. Let's move on, please.
Nothing? No?
Hold it!
Gotta press him again, maybe?
All the evidence, you say?
That's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all part of that Japanese man with the big mustache. It's the same. Oh wait, that changed.
The professors demonstrate another possible explanation for the events on the 9th question. What do you make of that?
Well, you so-called skin prints.
It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself.
The numerous handprints of the wall are clearly out of the ordinary. If Mr. Shamspeare had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the 9th question, it can't be denied that there's a possibility that that's where the poison was.
Well, yes. I won't deny it's playing on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides,
Yes?
even the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipes dozens of times before. It does mean he got up to the same shenanigans with the 9th question, does it?
Oh,
And if you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance.
You do make a very valid point, sir.
what? That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty.
No!
No, wait.
Look, you got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. If you and your Japanese cohorts can, that is.
Just leave our nationality out of this, please.
Mr. Naruhodo, we can't substantiate our position. I'm afraid that the jurors that changed their minds before me will very well change them back.
What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamspeare really did blow the gas pipe on the 9th question?
I can't prove it. I can present evidence. I have supporting testimony. I don't think I have any evidence looking through everything, so I'm gonna go with I have a supporting testimony.
No, in truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, there is witness testimony that substantiates it.
What? Testimony?
It's incredible. Whose testimony? Yes, it's all connected. Everything is linked. A person whose testimony revealed details about the gas in the Garrett residence that night, namely...
Oh, it's Souseki, right? Because he brought up how that night, even the night in question, right? His gas went out.
Take that!
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant, Mr. Souseki Natsume himself.
The defendant.
At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following.
My lodgings! There's been a whole series of strange happenings in my lodgings. Even on that fateful night, it happened. When I returned from Mr. Shamspeare's room, I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed. But before long, the stove went out, and somebody tried to kill me!
On the 9th question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not?
Good golly.
So that Shamspeare fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose?
Now hold all your horses there. Why would he do that for?
Mr. Foreman,
What is it, man?
we cannot allow judgment to be passed whilst their doubt remains. It's true that I don't have any conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree there's more to this case than meets the eye.
Ah. Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic, first and foremost. Yeah!
There we go.
That's 4 jurors lean towards not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue. Ha-ha! Suck a dick, Zeeks.
As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination is concluded with a majority of jurors altering the decisions. 2 jury members now call guilty, 4 now not called not guilty. Therefore, the jury's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the law of this land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial. Mr. William Shamspeare.
My lord, I'm back up here now. How can thy humble Shamspeare serve thee?
Shut up! What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination?
So God mended me. I do solemnly swear, I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe.
But your handprints made a tiny mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that, eh?
God, fuck, why again?
I'm done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been sullied enough already. Judge number 5.
Who, me?
As I went to some pains to point out already, a prince from the self-professed detective's toy has no place in a British court of law. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains, at this time, unestablished conjecture. You would all do well to remember that. Objection! But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding that lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there. Objection! What appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of tea were required. Yes. Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been spread out on the pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making on any analysis impossible. I didn't think of that.
In any case, counsel, I fail to see what possibly could have motivated the man to do as you describe. Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air to the gas pipe work where he lived?
There's only one possibility that I can think of, and that is to use the leaking gas to commit murder.
Order! Order! Counsel! Precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end?
The answer couldn't be simpler. Now we've unraveled the mystery this far. Mr. Shamspeare wanted to end the life of...
Behold.
Take that!
If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing.
I live around this parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lit is pretty much suicide. You freeze to death in no time.
Mr. Garrett, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. Oh, that's true. That's true. I forgot. That's why there was no risk of him dying. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamspeare was trying to end.
Outrageous!
I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim this man was trying to murder.
Good gracious!
Objection!
Objection!
The accused is actually the aggrieved. Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remain unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here. What? How can you still claim that? Let us indulge your fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there? Who did put it there? The only logical conclusion is that the person responsible was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill.
Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the gas pipe with poison?
So now we must ask, how could anyone have known of Mr. Shamspeare's murderous designs?
I was thinking like, well, maybe it was something that was put in place to discourage people from, by the Altamont company to discourage people from doing that, but I guess their own workers do it, so.
You mean to suggest?
Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known. What? In other words, the person who put the poison on the gas pipe in what was a clear retaliatory attack can only have been the accused, Mrs. Souseki Natsume. Whatever Mr. William Shamspeare may or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could possibly have perpetuated that attack is the accused, Miss Natsume. The defense's counsel's theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it.
I don't know, man. I am trying to think, who the fuck would it be? Miss Green got called in by somebody, right? She got a letter saying to meet somebody, but she never actually did, right? But maybe the person that she was going to meet did it? Maybe they knew ahead of time that this was going, that Shamspeare was the one that did it? But who the fuck would that be? Out of the people in my court record here, unless it's someone we have not met, who the hell would it possibly be? I can't imagine Mr. Garrett did it. Souseki, I'm pretty sure wouldn't have done it. Unless Miss Green did it, but she didn't even get to hear what the guy had to say. She got stabbed before she got to meet the guy, right? I was thinking like, but maybe she did it to get vengeance for the death of her fiance, but she didn't even know, right? Unless Meterman knew and he was like, fuck this guy, like, because he's been watching him the whole time. That's the old, I guess, but even then that'd be a little extreme, right?
In fact, now that a clear motive of poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend?
Shit, I'm about to get blown back! Blah. How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly?
Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us again. This may be our last chance to gain the advantage.
Yeah. What advantage?
Well, it would seem that somebody put poison in the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So we must name that person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt.
You mean name the true culprit?
I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all.
As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison, it's all pointing to a particular person now. The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman.
Huh? What? Oh, don't you worry. We know exactly what...
Objection! No! There's one other person who I believe could have been involved in all of this. The true culprit of this crime.
The true culprit?
A term found only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives, my Nipponese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already, I see no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax.
It's either gotta be Meterman or Shamspeare himself. Like he put poison on there to divert attention away and make himself the victim.
Thank you. Tell us, my learned Nipponese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime?
I think it has to be him or him. The thing is, though, the only thing is if it was him, like if you wanted to divert attention, he still could have died, right? Isn't that still like a very distinct possibility that he could have died from that poison? It wasn't like, well, he just did just less than a lethal dose, and, you know, it seemed like seemingly a miracle that he survived.
Take that!
Meterman?
You claim this person is the true culprit. Well, guess again, stupid. Highly suspicious, I would say. Perhaps, my little Nipponese friend, you should shut the fuck up.
All right, I'm gonna explode you now. Bow!
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I honestly, I was like, fucking crapshoot. I'm just gonna go for Miss Green then. The name of the person. Oh, fuck. Then when the hell would she have been able to do that? I don't know. I'm curious about this. The name of the person responsible for the poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare is, I believe, Miss Olive Green.
Miss Olive Green? Miss Olive Green. I do feel as though I've heard that name in the recent past, Counsel, but I don't recall where.
It's been 84 years, my lord. Miss Olive Green, the woman from 6 days ago. The victim in the recent case of stabbing on Briar Road. An incident for which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add.
Oh, of course, yes, Miss Green. She was left comatose for some 3 days, I believe, but I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago.
And I hardly need remind the court that Mr. Shamspeare's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi. True, on the night that incident occurred, Miss Green was in the hospital, unconscious. So on the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't possibly be responsible. But still, my colleagues and I visited Miss Green in the hospital yesterday, and we found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison. Oh, that was the poison she used, mate? We didn't even, well, I guess we'd have no way of knowing. Was there not a label on the bottle?
Good gracious, she had poison?
And there's another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court.
Tell me, Mr. Shamspeare.
My lord, pray what be thy bidding, as long as it has nothing to do with me being guilty.
Are you acquainted with Miss Green?
No, never heard of her.
Just a bit look at Mr. Shamspeare's face. I think perhaps he generally doesn't know her. At least, not by name.
As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my learned Nibanese friends farce through to its conclusion. I appreciate that. Thank you for seeing my farce through to its conclusion. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here.
Yes, Miss Olive Green.
Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient.
Very well, I grant the request.
Excellent, excellent. I hope.
The defense has made a most extraordinary accusation, I must say. But at the present time, I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of this court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We reconvene in 1 hour. Court's adjourned.
Good to be continued? Yeah, shit. Interesting. I really didn't think it could have been her. Like, I see the motive, obviously, right? She pieced together what had happened, but how the fuck did she do it? I thought, did I misunderstand what happened? I thought she said that she was on her way to meet the person that was in the letter that she brought up. Wait. So the letter that she had, right? Didn't we look at the letter and go, wait a minute, that envelope is the same envelope that was in her room, in Shamspeare's room, right? When did she get the fucking letter? This timeline of events, dude, is throwing me off. I thought she got the letter and then she was heading to meet this person and then she got stabbed in the back. That's what I thought. But seemingly the other end of that envelope is in Mr. Shamspeare's room, right? Maybe that's what we've been led to believe, but in fact, that she got the letter or discovered it at another point. Maybe she went and examined Shamspeare's room to figure out what had happened. And then how would she have been able to piece that together though? That's like a lot. I mean, it seems like whoever was in the letter like contacted her and was going to give her some inside information. And I go, okay, then I can understand how she could have figured it out. But then why would the other end of the envelope be there? The envelope that is telling her to go meet this person, right? Why would it be in Mr. Shamspeare's room? And why would, that's why, like, I feel like that ripping, right, would be her discovering that letter. So why would it be in the room that Shamspeare's in? How then could she have gotten the knowledge without potentially inside knowledge from somebody? I don't know. There's a lot of, I feel like this timeline events is just all over the place. I got a lot of questions that I need to have answered next episode. But shit's getting good. This shit is really good. I can't wait to see what the answers are. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like and a favorite and subscribe if you're not already become Picky Penguin aboard the SLP, where the days are always sunny and the vids are always funny. And as always, guys, till next time, stay classy.